I guess it was about 4 months ago. Michael Van and I were playing golf, riding in separate carts as one does during Corona tide, when he asked the question, "What about the barbecue?" I remember at the time the idea sounded insurmountable. A whole church coming together to cut, chop, and split 12 truckloads of wood, to wrap, smoke, and pull 2,000 pounds of pork, mix 30 gallons of our special recipe sauce, cook 5 barrels of baked beans, chop, mix, and toss unknown quantities of slaw, and that's just the plates. Not to mention the countless hours of homemade dishes assembled and packed into 5 large freezers for our freezer bake sale. And the cookies and the cakes and the brownies and the breads and the jams, not to mention all the cleaning, prep, publicity, merchandise, and logistics that accompany the barbecue every year for over 50 years. And sure, the barbecue's had its setbacks in the past: heavy rains, cold temperatures, too hot of temperatures, too few workers. But it's never had a pandemic. What about the barbecue? Michael asked. Sometimes we need people to push us fearlessly into the unknown. Sometimes we need a reminder, not of normalcy. That's what everyone is searching for right now, but I'm not interested in that. Sometimes we need a reminder of purpose. In the gospel for today, one of the Pharisees, a lawyer, asked Jesus a question. "Teacher, which commandment in the law is the greatest?" Jesus answered, "You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment, and the second is like it. You shall love your neighbor as yourself." That's a pretty good purpose. Now, I know I've talked about this before, but I think it's worth repeating every now and again. In the Christian tradition, we use the word liturgy to describe the movement of the service. Liturgy is the prayers, the readings, the rituals that we do when we gather as church, or even when we are alone praying to God. Liturgy, in many ways, is how we interact with the divine, and corporately with one another when we gather to pray. Now, what strikes me the most is the history of this word. It comes from the ancient Greek, and the term meant work for the people. Perhaps, better said, public service. Thus, liturgy is a ritual that only a few participate in, yet it is still broader than those gathered. It is meant to affect the entire community. It is work done for the good of the city. It is what's loving one's neighbor. So what we're saying when we say our church service is liturgical is that we believe that what we do through prayer, through professions, confessions, and blessings, we believe that these rituals aren't just beneficial to us, but indeed our entire community, to our neighbors, to Meridian. That we emerge from our service transformed in such a way that it helps us to love God and our neighbor. This is why I believe it is important to talk about the liturgy of the barbecue. It's a ritual we have done uninterrupted for over 50 years. It builds our church community as we work side by side those long days doing taxing work. It grows our story as we sit around a fire sharing our lives. It nourishes our neighbors as they feast on the best pork and, might I add, the best sauce I've ever had. And our liturgy doesn't end until all the proceeds have been dispersed to various nonprofits in Meridian, those places we know make a difference in the lives of our neighbors. Love God. Love your neighbor. On this hangs all the law and the prophets. Mediator, I'm proud of you. All of you who supported this ministry in your various ways. I'm proud of our barbecue and freezer bake sale chairs who boldly led us through a barbecue that we will never forget, whose liturgy will do public good far beyond what we will ever truly know. Thank you. Thank you for loving the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. And thank you for loving your neighbor as yourself. You are a church that truly understands her purpose. I love you. God bless you. And goodbye for now.